Well, welcome once again to the L&D Ninja Podcast. I am your host, Reggie Padilla. I'm so excited to finally be back in the saddle. It's been a minute since we last saw each other, and a lot has happened, but I am so glad to be back and to have this conversation with you. I've been very encouraged that even though in my hiatus, there's been a lot of you who've been downloading the podcast, and that's been so encouraging to me, even though I haven't been able to record any new content. And by the way, I really enjoyed it. There's been so much going on that I'm going to get into in the upcoming episodes. But we're going to do a couple of things differently. As you can see, I'm in a brand new space. Last time we saw each other, I was in Miami, Florida, and now I'm here in the Research Triangle in North Carolina. Really, really exciting. I don't know what to think about the upcoming winter, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. A lot has changed. There's been a lot of projects in my plate. Been going through so many different things, and so for those reasons, I haven't been able to be in touch with you, but I am so glad to be back. There's going to be a couple of things that are going to be different from the last rendition, I guess, of the podcast. Number one, they're going to be much shorter. So I'm trying to aim for about 20-25 minutes worth of material. So that way I don't bore you and I can get a lot more of these recorded. And we're going to be discussing, the same things that we discussed in the past, but we're really going to be focusing on, wow, how much things have changed in just 1 year since you and I saw each other. It's been a roller coaster ride to see the changes in L&D and the new things that are coming up. And by the way, I've been working on new applications for learning and development, and it's been crazy. But wow, what a exciting time this is for those of us in learning and development. And so thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I hope that you gain value from this. It's going to be a little raw. I'm not going to do a lot of editing like I was doing before. I want it to be as real as possible without being distracting. But I'm going to be me, and what you see is what you get, and hopefully we can have some fun doing this. So let's jump into the new situation that I'm in. I'm here in the Research Triangle in the city of Durham, North Carolina. And we moved, my wife and I moved in June. And, it's a big move after 16 years in South Florida. We thought, it was time for a fresh start. We have one of our children living here and in this Research Triangle, and we wanted to be closer to her. And the other reason why was because, this has become such a hub for research and for the new technologies that are coming in. It's been wild so far, and I've been able to make so many connections just in this short period of time that it's really exciting to see what is happening. A lot of these big tech companies are here or building new projects here. I know Apple is in the area. They're going to build a huge campus here in the RTP, and Google's here, and all of these companies are really focusing on the technologies that you and I are interested in: VR, AR, artificial intelligence. Which has taken the world by storm. And it's really exciting to be in a situation where so many people working on those things that it's exciting to be able to connect with those individuals. Not to mention that the RTP, one of their, I guess, giving back to entrepreneurs and business and small business owners, they have a co-working station that is completely free. I may put some pictures up so you can see it. It's phenomenal. The space they have, and it's so much fun to be able to be there amongst other entrepreneurs and other people working on different types of technologies, different types of industries. And that to me has been eye-opening to see that even in across all these different industries, learning and development is still at the heart of whether or not these companies are going to be successful or not. And so that to me is super, super exciting to see. And so This has been a personal journey for me. It's had a great impact. So far, so good. I do miss Miami. I plan to be back every so often, but it's been a great situation here. So much has happened. I don't even know where to start. So I wanted to talk to you a couple of things in this first episode. Wow, what about ChatGPT and everything has been going around surrounding that? Oh my goodness, it's been incredible to say the least. I mean, I don't think at least in my lifetime, and I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to, I was around when the internet was not mainstream, when email was not mainstream, and I remember those technologies coming into the mainstream. And yeah, they were revolutionary, but nothing, at least in my opinion, my humble opinion, nothing has revolutionized the entire world as much as artificial intelligence has. And it's been in a short period of time, and that is it's incredible to see, and I don't know where you fall in the spectrum. There's a lot of people who are like, full in the deep end, and some people who are just, getting their toes wet, and there's other people that don't even want to jump in. And you may be in one of those camps, but the reality is that we cannot ignore it. It's here to stay and here to grow exponentially, and that, we'll discuss some of the implications of that in future podcasts. But wow, what an incredible thing has happened. And I'm gonna share with you how what I've sort of been doing in leveraging that technology, and hopefully that gives you some inspiration. So back in, I believe it was February, March. I was still in Miami, and I teach as an adjunct professor. And so, I'm always looking for inspirations to, for outlines and to give to my students, and also grading their work. And I'm sitting there on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and from my vantage point, I lived on a high rise there in Miami, and I could see into the bay, into the Biscayne Bay, and there were up, boats as usual, boats coming up and down the bay, and I'm sitting there grading, and I'm thinking, what's wrong? What's wrong with this picture? I work so hard, and here I am, just one more grading marathon, and I should be up there, having some fun. But anyway, that got my imagination going, and ChatGPT had just, I believe, in that week or so, had just hit the news. And so I sort of I play for it for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden when I'm grading, I'm thinking, I wonder if, I'm just thinking to myself, I wonder if ChatGPT, if I give it my, what I'm looking for, how I grade things, sort of the nuts and bolts of what I've been doing for, more than 10 years as an educator. I wonder if I could create something that would allow me to grade papers faster. I put it to the test, and sure enough, it worked. And so I tested it on my end, and I like to think and dream and design, but I am not a programmer. And so now I had to find somebody to, create this app for me. And lo and behold, I found a talented group of young programmers overseas, entrepreneurial, hungry, hardworking. And we've been working together not only on that app, which they develop, but on several other apps. And I'll tell you a little bit more about them. And so sure enough, we got this thing up and running, and now DocuGrade, which, by the way, it's free. You can download it, play with it. It's still considered in beta testing, but sure enough, you can ask DocuGrade to basically, hey, here's this report, or here is this essay, or you can go down the list. And not only that, but you can say, hey, this is this is supposed to be in APA format or Chicago or MLA. You basically create all those prompts and feed the text to the app, and the application will grade it. And so what I did, as I was testing this, I'm still a tougher grader, by the way, but not by much. The points were like 1 or 2 points. ChatGPT was a little bit more lenient than I was, or than I am, and so that tells you right there that it's a great opportunity for it's not that if you're an educator, you will never grade another paper again. But certainly, I know that it's for me, imparting, teaching, coaching, walking along students is where I'm really passionate about. Grading is part of the things that we need to do, which brings me to another point in education, and that is education is now at a crossroads. So they don't know what to do with AI, right? And I know that as an educator, we were instructed to turn it in, which is an application to flag plagiarism. They had been working on a version that would also pick up whether or not the paper had been written by AI. And at first they said, hey, just put it through this thing and then, address those issues accordingly. They sort of backtracked that posture because it's really, really tough. It is really tough to determine whether or not a paper has been written by AI or by a student, right? And so, especially when you don't know the student, you don't know the quality of their work, right? You're starting a new term. It's hard to make that determination. And so I believe that at least in higher education, we're going to have to shift the way we grade students. It's going to be more, I think, the face-to-face and in-person activities where we should put a lot of the weight in the grades they get. And the writing assignments, that's going to be, I think, in my opinion, is going to be sort of secondary, if not, it's going to be back in the back burner not too long from now, because there's just no way that we will be able to keep up with this. Again, it's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but for sure, I think that educators are going to have to look for newer ways to really base their grades of this particular student that is not based on just writing assignments. That's my thought. So that was the first application, and then I started thinking, oh my goodness, this thing worked. And what about can I create an app where I can ask the AI to create content for me as a learning and development or as an educator? And lo and behold, I was able to design this new application called LearnForward.ai. It's also free. It's also in beta. You can download it. It's available right now in the App Store or in Google Play. And so it's an application where you basically go to your phone, and I'm gonna pick up my phone here, and I'll show you all of this so you click on open the app, and then it's gonna ask you, hey, what are we creating today? And you can select class, an outline for a course, micro-learning, a lesson plan, a slide deck presentation, article, blog, curriculum. And then it asks you, so who's the intended audience? And you can select from grade school all the way to corporate. So grade school, middle school, high school, college, graduate, and corporate. Super, super cool. And then it asks you, so how are we delivering this? And you have your options are classroom, online, print, webinar, workshop, seminar, instructor-led, micro-learning, social learning, coaching, mobile learning, self-paced. That's just, and then it asks you, okay, so what is the tone? And so, is it professional? Is it conversational? Is it informal? Is it academic? Is it inspirational? Is it storytelling? Is it empathetic? Is it humorous? Is it Socratic? Is it directive? And then you just type the title, and you let it do its thing, and it generates the content. And then once you create the content, so I'm gonna do one right here. It's gonna be for corporate. We're gonna deliver this as a workshop. The tone, of course, is gonna be, well, I'm gonna say conversational, and I'm gonna say, I don't know, the emergence of AI in L&D. All right, so I'm gonna do that and then hit generate. This is generating right now. Now, the difference between this and ChatGPT is, of course, in ChatGPT, you have to basically go down the list of all those different prompts. And, here you just plug it in, right? You just plug it in and there it is. It's already created. And then you open it and it's already, all the content is there. I mean, that's a lot of content. No, the beauty of this thing is too that is now you have the content, and now you can say, okay, it asks you, okay, so is there anything else you would like to add to your learning product? And your choices are, you can add learning objectives, book suggestions, multiple choice questions, keywords, podcasts, hashtags, true and false questions, TED Talks, sample activities, and then a description. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, hey, why don't you generate a couple of multiple choice questions, and maybe give me some book suggestions. And I'm going to say generate. So it's generating that. You sit back. It's searching. And there it is. It's created. View the learning product. Now it has the content that created for you. But it also created some multiple choice questions with the answers. And it gives you some book suggestions there. And that's it. So book suggestions, it gives you multiple choice questions, and that's it right there. And so now you can take this, right, and it's a very solid outline that you can use for yourself and tweak it as you see fit. So again, it's just a mind blowing thing that has been, I think, revolutionizing, learning and development, and it has changed the game and will continue to change the game. And so that's it. We'll come back. Thank you so much for joining me. I know that I crammed a lot of stuff into this first episode, but I was very, very excited to be back. And stay tuned. There's a lot more good things coming. Please share, like, comment, subscribe. It makes a big difference, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.